I know that when people call me on the telephone or write into the Daily Herald, one of their concerns is how vouchers would affect the public schools, what impact they would have. Doug, how do you see this voucher program affecting the public school system? We've talked about funding, but let's talk about the other aspects, the education.
So really in three ways, I'd say, principally. One, lowering class sizes, increasing per pupil funding, and third, this issue of parental involvement. So now you give people very real choices where they can actively engage with their kids' education. They get more involved. And so if you talk to any educator, what you'll hear is the most critical factor in a child's success is parental involvement. But so much of today's bureaucratically managed and run education system really prevents parents from being involved. This program is great because it gives parents the opportunity to be very real involvement with their kids' education by making real choices for them.
Lisa, how does Utahns for Public Schools see the vouchers affecting the public school system?
Well, I would agree with Doug that parental involvement is very important, and one of our major supporting groups is the PTA, and I don't think there's any group that advocates more for parental involvement than that. We think that parents should be involved with their students, but vouchers don't increase the parental involvement in that way. They just take more time for the parents to have to do the research rather than spending the time with their children, actually working on the homework and doing the educational things. And the idea of it actually reducing class size is a little silly because it's like throwing a bunch of cards up in the air and hoping that some of them will fall the way you want. If we want to really reduce class sizes, we need a systematic approach to do that across the state, rather than taking 3 students from this school and 2 students from this school. When you look at even 100 students leaving a school district with 85 schools, that does nothing to actually reduce the class sizes. It takes a firm commitment to fund it directly in order to reduce class sizes across the state where it's really needed.
What about school performance? I know there are differing views on this, and I've seen some of the professors arguing back and forth, but how would vouchers affect the effectiveness of the public schools? Would they have an impact on how the public schools teach? Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the evidence is pretty clear from across the country where vouchers have been used and have been implemented in some states for over 17 years, in other places for over 10 years, and the results are pretty clear that vouchers help improve academic performance. The big issue in Utah is the public school system really works great for the majority of kids, but we've got 25% of kids that didn't pass the UBiscuit graduation test. We've got 45% of Hispanics who are dropping out of school. We've got people who simply kind of square pegs, if you will, that aren't fitting in the round hole of the public education system. And so giving those an option, giving those kids and those parents an option for whom the public system simply isn't working, clearly helps all kids. You know, they relieve the pressure on the public system, but you find a solution that really works for an individual child.
What do you think, Lisa?
Well, unfortunately, Doug's not telling the full story. All the objective studies actually show that vouchers do not actually improve the performance of the students who transfer to the voucher schools or the students in the public schools. In fact, there's a new study released just today that shows that there's a negligible difference. So really, it's a matter of changing our focus, moving our resources to a new program, which again will cost us a lot of additional funds. We do need choices, and that's why we encourage things like charter schools, magnet schools. We have concurrent enrollment where kids can do high school programs and college programs at the same time. We have mainstreaming for special needs children, and our public schools treat special needs children, whereas the public schools don't have to. So there are a lot of programs that we offer and we encourage, and we're always encouraging more innovation to provide different kinds of instruction for different kinds of students.